Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful Thanksgiving thus far. Today's upload is going to be about the winter storm that will at this point most likely be occurring. Just the track and the timing is very uncertain with this storm, and many people have requested this storm, a video about the storm. Many people have wanted me to make a video on this storm, so therefore I will be making a video on this storm. And guys, if you want me to make a video on something, just leave it in the comment box below, and I will really consider. I read every single one of your comments, and it really does mean a lot, especially when you engage with my videos. It's truly great, and I do listen to you guys. So therefore, today's video is going to be about the Midwest and a little bit of the West, but in general, more of that winter storm that will be occurring. If you like this channel, if you'd like to support it, consider subscribing. Clicking on the subscribe button helps my channel grow. Great way to support it. It's a win-win situation, so thank you for that. We are moving on right now into Thanksgiving Day. This is already Friday, Black Friday. Many locations will be rain and snow-free, excluding the West, where some rain will be possible along with some snow. So that may disrupt some shopping, some traveling, especially people are traveling back from Thanksgiving dinner. So definitely the West will probably have the worst of the weather. Otherwise, perfectly fine. Just a little bit chilly in the East. Actually fairly chilly. I think it'll be one of the coldest Thanksgivings on record in parts of the Northeast. So that's definitely there. 18, 19. I meant to say, yeah, 18, this is 18-0 around 2 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. Maybe a little bit of showers starting to break out here, but again, I think by this time of the day, most shopping will be done. And this is a system with not much precip at all, maybe a little bit greater precip down to the south by South Carolina, but overall this system will be mostly rain. And then after that, there's this system that comes off the west coast, and now the models are really starting to cone in and zone in on this because it's coming on shore. And once a system comes on shore, the models have a better view and better prediction as the storm how it will evolve. So today will be a great day in terms of the models, zoning in and kind of defining where the storm will exactly track. So we go through time. This is Sunday. The storm or the snow is starting to break out. This is November 25th. So 2018, couple days after Thanksgiving, we are looking at, this is the first GFS run that's actually having this far to the south. And actually this low is going to be fairly strong. Is going to be fairly windy storm filled with snow on the backside. I mean, some of the snow will be ridiculously heavy. You can see some of that snow is going to be fairly heavy, reaching major cities like Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, Davenport, the Quad Cities, Kansas City, all those cities, Quincy, Illinois, could be all under the gun for some heavy snow, and regions like northern Michigan will also be into this, and even with that wraparound, cities like Detroit and Cleveland could also be getting into this. So if you live somewhere in this area, I would draw this out here. If you live somewhere in this area, you should be expecting to see snow Sunday into Monday. I don't know how much, and even if the storm does shift to the south or north, it doesn't seem like it will do much more shifting in terms of out of this box to the heaviest zone. I think the heaviest snow should fall somewhere in this area. It could be up here, could be down here, could be in here. We don't know, but I think it'll be somewhere in that area. This heaviest snow will fall. And at this point, it does look like a fairly strong system to bring quite a bit of snow and rain. And you can see even potentially affecting the Northeast with quite a bit of snow. So this is going to be an interesting system. Afterwards, we get a very active pattern. We get more storms. You could see potentially another system of snow. This is around the December time frame. And then we could see another system. So very active, and actually, according to the Climate Prediction Center, fairly chilly conditions, even though I'm not really seeing this on a GFS. But again, is a GFS 100% accurate? It's not even close to being 50% accurate in terms of its temperature. I am, like many other people, have disregarded GFS in terms of its cold predictions. I do think so as well, because as I showed you in one of those videos, or my video that I made, it was titled Interesting Pattern Heading After Thanksgiving. The teleconnections were so strongly supporting cold conditions across the east and central part of the country, along with snowy conditions, that the GFS is just not doing a good job right now. It is showing colder conditions into next week, early next week, but afterwards it is showing a massive warm-up, which I'm not buying really at this point. It may happen, I'm not excluding it, but I just at this point don't think it will happen. Now, you're probably all wanting to see the snowfall totals. So, this is what the GFS is putting out. Let's zoom in on the north central United States, since that is where the brunt of the storm will happen. Cities like Chicago, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Probably the brunt at this point is forecasted to be around the Davenport area, 6-7 inches, and northern Michigan also seeing quite a bit. However, this is not set in stone. If I go back to the previous model runs, let's go to the 6Z model run. You can see a little bit farther to the north into southern Wisconsin. If you go to 00Z Thursday, we see a little bit further to the north. So this is very different by every model, differentiating, and we will need to see what happens with this. In terms of the European model, the European model's previous, the one that from midnight, SnowTrack put it right across, putting major cities like Chicago, Des Moines, Green Bay, Kansas City right on the line of seeing whether seeing that snow or not. So the brunt at this point would look to be southern Wisconsin from the European model, and the European model is much more hefty on these snowfall totals. It is around 15-14 inches of snow, and what we have noticed is, guys, the European model has been doing a greater job, or a better job with these forecasting these snow systems, like it did with Winter Storm Avery. If you don't know what that was that major winter storm that was in the Northeast that caused quite a bit of travel issues and dropped almost 6 inches of snow in New York. So that was, the European model did a very good job on that. The GFS completely flopped on that. And I think the European model may be onto something with these heavy snowfall amounts. In terms of where the placement will be, neither the European or the GFS is really confident in that either. Now this is the latest European model. You can see it shifted it further to the south, so cities like Chicago would be under the gun, Madison, Milwaukee, Kansas City potentially also. So this could be an absolutely massive snowstorm, guys. This could be second named winter storm of the season. This will definitely produce snow days for many locations. This is something to get excited about if you're a snow lover. This is an amazing thing that, in my opinion, doesn't happen that often, especially in November. So this is something we could be remembering. So definitely exciting. I will be making more videos on this system individually. I think today's video will be titled something like very heavy snowfall overall, because if we look at the CMC Canadian model, it has its snowfall amounts with this big storm further up to the north, leaving cities like Chicago and Kansas City high and dry, not necessarily, much snow, but cities like Des Moines, Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay under the gun for very heavy snow. And in terms of the northern plains, you could see also some double-digit snowfall amounts. Let's go back to the whole continental United States, because I want to show you the Northeast also firing up with some snow in the west, like I did a video on yesterday, being absolutely clobbered by that snow. So overall, very heavy snowfall for the United States coming in. Several snowstorms, big pattern change. This is looking like quite a bit, or quite a good time for snow lovers and cold lovers. In terms of let's go to the 6 to 10 day outlook. We are looking at pretty fairly below average conditions for the eastern half of the country and warmer for the western part of the country. So this is extending from the 27th through December 1st. And then in terms of precip, a little bit drier and maybe in the east, especially the northeast, but then wetter across the west, especially across the west and the south. Let's go to the 8 to 14 day outlook. This is extending from November 29th through the 5th. You can see their confidence is very low. This is, I think, 45%, maybe 30, 25. So they're not really confident on this. Maybe some cold, maybe some warm. At this point, they're favoring the cold, and I would be favoring it as well due to the teleconnections and many other factors, which I discussed in the previous video, and potentially above average precip, which could mean above average snow. So very exciting times, guys. This is something we should be very excited for. And in my opinion, this is an awesome time of the year where snowfall starts falling across the United States and the holidays are approaching. Christmas, Thanksgiving, it's just an awesome time of the year. So that's basically wraps it up for today's video. Didn't want to extend it too far out. I could show you the 2-meter temperature shaded. This shows you the exact temperatures that, not exact because it's a forecast, but the predicted temperatures that will be at what given time. Let's go back to hour 0. This is what they are looking right now. Fairly chilly around Hudson Bay, James Bay, up in Canada, and very cold across the Northeast. I mean, you can see some of these temperatures are very, very, very cold. 5, 7, 15 in New York. I think that's a 20, maybe a 30. Very, very chilly conditions. And you can see actually extremely cold weather tomorrow during Black Friday. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for those Black Friday shoppers. And then we get another dive of cold air again. That's that 6 to 10 day outlook where it's going to be fairly chilly, and that's when that cold air, you can see some of those temperatures getting very doggone cold, negative 10 degrees here in southeastern Iowa. That could definitely be a possibility. Now, like I mentioned, the GFS this is what the CMC Canadian is showing. The GFS is a little bit on the warmer side. It is not showing so many, it's not showing as many cold outbreaks. Is actually showing some 50s and 60s around December 3rd, 5th time frame. It is showing that cold weather in the Northeast for the Black Friday time frame. You can see it's still very chilly, but again, it's not as cold for the later part of December. You can see actually very mild, very warm. It is showing though that little colder outbreak during that time frame of late November into early December, and that Northeast cold. So we will need to see what happens. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.